Crypto market is feeling a little bit anemic right now, isn't it? With not a lot of fresh retail money coming in, but do you know where fresh money is coming in from? Venture capital funds, and they're going big into blockchain gaming, or what is being called GameFi. Now, yesterday, today, and tomorrow is land sale for Illuvium, and today through the next 5 days, the land sales for Cornucopias. Many are going to miss these, and I believe all that miss them are going to regret it in the future. I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks as I have been watching and studying and buying the past 24 hours. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. And if you like money in crypto and you're looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family by liking this video and subscribing with the all notifications bell enabled. I'm not a financial advisor. I am a crypto investor myself, and I share with you how I think about the crypto market and specific cryptos I like. Do note that I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I don't talk about crypto projects I don't believe in, and I believe in both of these projects very much and have been buying land in both. We do want to shout out our Patreon members. We just finished the pre-live stream where we get to engage directly, and I enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. And today we're live, so we only do live streams with the general audience on Fridays these days. And so welcome, everyone. Welcome, Chris Ashby. What's up, Rainmakers? All right, sponsor disclaimer. If it says at the beginning that there is sponsored content on this is because of our strategic relationship with Wanchain, who have been very good to us, and they give us 500 Wan every month to give away to the audience. We'll be giving away 125 Wanchain today. So make it rain on that like button. Strap in for the show. Let's welcome our producer, D Money.
Hey, what up, Jay? How's it going, man?
Good. I have been waiting for these land sales for forever. So
I know.
It's fun to be able to do on a live stream and talk about them. I've been just enthralled. Illuvium's has more hour to hour going on by far than Cornucopias, but Cornucopias has some good things going on over the next 5 days. And I like strategy. So I'm going to be talking about strategy, right? I like the best deal possible, or how to weigh when it's a good enough deal, because sometimes it's hard to buy the exact bottom. I'll be sharing what I think on Cornucopias and some strategies if you're not in, like how to improve your chances of getting one, because it's hard to get one. And in Illuvium, we're going to talk about best prices, and we're going to talk about the different regions, and we're going to talk about pricing and just some strategy related to there.
The thing that I'm interested to see, it's interesting that one is like doing it quick, and that Cornucopias is doing, Illuvium's doing it quick. Cornucopias is doing it over 5 days, and just to kind of see how it plays out, because it's two very different strategies. And I know that Cornucopias is like, they reduced the prices. They wanted to make it a little bit more accessible than they had originally planned on, and which I think is great. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about what's going on, and to hear your take about it for sure.
Yeah, like overall, the general market is down, right? And it was this type of market when I bought Axie Infinity's land. And honestly, the Axie Infinity land did not do well for like almost 2 years. But then by 2.5 years, it'd gone 100x. And if I had held it another 3 months, it actually went another 12x on top of that. It would have been like a 1200x. But I sold it 100x. So like,
dang. Only 400,000,
like right? 4,000 to 400,000 instead of 5 million. 5 million is a pretty number. Just $4,000 investment is a very pretty number. But so can land sales do well? Yes. Do I know that these will do that well? Probably not that well. I mean, 1200x, almost nothing does that in. Well, it was a 2.5 year time frame. I do like both of these very much, and I'm going big into. I mean, copias, you're very limited on what you can buy, but I'm going as big as I can on that. In Illuvium, I'm definitely going big on, and I'll share the reasons why. Now, these land sales are happening very differently. Oh,
I was going to say, let's start the party before we do that. Before you forget.
Join me, Rainmakers. All right, I love these live streams. It's a chance to check out what you're saying. It is live, so if you're typing in the chat, we see it. And AG says, too many good deals. He wishes, he's like, I need more cash flow, and you were exactly right. Chris Ashby is asking if I'm buying back into Luna again. I'm not sure on that. I do have some Luna, and I got some Luna tokens, some V2 tokens. It's a pittance compared to what the value of the Luna I had was. So, yeah, Luna was a disaster. Could it come back? It could. I hope an algorithmic stablecoin can survive. It's unclear as to whether an uncollateralized stablecoin such as Luna can survive. All right, let's get on to the land sale. So one of these land sales has happened on the ETH chain / Immutable X. And so let's take a look at that. In fact, there's a few more windows I want to have open here. And let me see, we're just going to copy this, and because there's a few more things that we're going to flip through here. There's for information. This is the actual land sale happening now, and this is live, and these are probably going to start selling right now. This is filtered by tier 1 on sale. The price decreases like every 5 minutes. And probably if I went to buy now, yeah, some of these are sold. In fact, this morning, yeah, see, a lot of these have sold. So it's showing 155 available because I haven't refreshed in a while. We just started the new part, so there's really only these 2 left, and they're probably sold. These are from the previous. Oh, there's a few. Let me just sort again. Filter, tier 1, apply. And these are still left that haven't sold, and they will probably sell in the next few minutes is frequently what happened. If I were to click on the buy now, they might have already sold. They tend to sell around 6 minutes after the hour from the previous hour's release. Now, if you're lucky, it goes all the way to about 10 minutes because the price gets to about the bottom of what these have sold for. It's about 0.33 region. And we'll talk about how to get it cheaper than 0.33 ETH. Now, why am I talking about these two? Because these two are some of the best blockchain games that are significantly into their development, and both have my full attention these last 2 days and probably for the next few days. So starting off with Illuvium's land sale. If you haven't followed closely, there's different regions of Illuvium's land sale going up for sale. So let's go to the regions of Illuvium. So there's Taiga Boreal. If you can see, it looks kind of icy here. So I imagine this is where, if you're a landowner, you get a chance to get not only some resources from the land, but you'll also get a chance to get some skins of the alluvials that travel through your land. So I imagine ice alluvials come through here. Abyssal Basin, it's kind of a swampy region. You have Brightland Steppes, which looks more like a grasslands / just steppes, kind of like grassland plains. The Halcyon, if I'm saying that right, I imagine that's going to be like your water alluvials. Crimson Waste is likely to be your fire alluvials. And it tells you like Scoriox, which I think is that firebird, Ramphi, Goliant. So these are going to be the starting alluvials that there are. This tells you which common alluvials you can get. Now, some lands are selling better than others right now, or faster than others, so at higher prices, because some people who have followed this very closely are looking exactly at the common alluvials that you can get, and they're buying based on those common alluvials. But what you can't see down the road is what alluvials that will come out that will be like the meta that you can then get skins for. And so even the stuff that's selling the cheapest now in the future could be the most expensive. So Shard Bluff Labyrinth, you see it looks like a lot of cliffs and peaks and mountains and possibly some, looks kind of crystally, but I guess that's just peaks and stuff. The region is colorless, the sky dark gray. For really a good look at it, you want to go to medium and you want to go to Illuvium and go through their medium articles, and they break it down. 15, this one that just released, and I don't think they have all of them out there, but this goes through like Shard Bluff Labyrinth, and it gives you kind of the overview, a nice images so you can see what they're all about and really get a feel, and goes into some deeper depth. Do you like that? Right?
Yeah, it reminds me of like The Hobbit, kind of like, like an orc cave or something like that. It looks awesome.
Yeah, their graphics, I really like their art style. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think this has one of the better chances of the stuff that started a year ago to be really, really good. And I feel like the team we've had, Kieran Warwick on the channel twice, I feel like he is solid and very focused, and he's surrounded himself with some really good people that I think it's got a great chance of surviving. And what we do as investors, we try to buy things that have a chance of surviving, because anything's always a chance. You don't know. There were a couple points when I bought that Axie Infinity land. I bought it the mint, the initial sale. I didn't know if it was going to survive. I hoped it was going to survive. And actually, it went down by about 67% from what I bought at mint. And I don't get so tempted to sell, but there were several times in that first year and a half that I was worried that it would just fail. And yet it didn't. Some people sold out because they were just like, oh, this is never going to go anywhere. This is going to fail. For all of you Omi fans, like Comey fans, don't you hear like that kind of thing? Like Comey is not even close to failing, but sometimes people run out of patience. They're like, oh, this is never going anywhere. And then it does. And that's what happened with Axie Infinity. People can look back on the charts, what happened with the land prices, and see that, you know, initially you could have bought essentially a mystic piece of land for 1 ETH. You would have paid about $100 because that's where ETH was. And at the top, it went to about $120,000. So from $100 to $120,000 if you sold the very top, or you could have got for about $5. The Savannah land, I think it was called. And at the top, that went to about, I think, $10,000 or something. So some crazy, crazy returns. Now, it looks like the entry-level price on these are going for about $500. And here's how that breaks down. So these probably are all sold now. Yeah, so as I click on these, if I refresh it, this number is going to go down tremendously. But there is a way we can check for how much things sold. And let me show you how to do that. Let's filter by sold, and we want tier 1 lands, and we'll apply. And I'm going to show you exactly how to see this. Okay, so this will tell you the ETH price it says it sold for, but it probably didn't actually sell for ETH. And we're going to sort by the lowest price. So these are the lowest prices that some of this tier 1 land has gone for. So the cheapest one sold when this said 0.323 ETH. But I'll show you how to get it for cheaper than 0.323 ETH. All right, so we're going to say show, and it's going to give us the address of this person. So they end up getting 1 fuel site, and fuel is going to be very necessary. My understanding is, well, landowners, you get fuel, and I guess there are some things that you can do to trade into fuel, but in order to earn fuel, the landowners sit there and earn fuel passively, as well as you can get these NFT skins. All right, so I'm going to copy this address, and we're going to look at their Etherscan. So we're just going to go to Etherscan, and we're going to put in their address, and we're going to have a peek at what they bought. Now, looking at this, we don't know which of the transactions it was. It might have been one from 5 hours, 6 minutes ago. Notice that these are all close to an hour ago. This person has been buying heavily. And so let's click on what they bought just 5 minutes ago, and we're going to see. All right, so they bought, it looks like probably a tier 2 because they used escrowed Illuvium 2. So escrowed Illuvium 2 is SILV2. So if you swap into your ETH into SILV2 and pay in SILV2, you're going to get about a 35 to 40% discount. And here's exactly why. And it's really important that you buy an SILV2, although there's a chance this arbitrage goes away. Now, if you try to search for SILV2, notice you are not going to find it here. So what you have to do to find it is exactly what I just did, because you're going to have to get the contract address here. So you're going to copy this contract address that's right here, and then you're going to go to Uniswap, launch the app, and you are going to go there, and you're going to find it there. Notice even if you like paste that address in here, you're not going to find it. Let me open up Uniswap. And I will show you a little bit more completely what's going on here.
Jay, what's the difference between SILV2 and just the Illuvium token?
So you're not able to buy an SILV2 right now, right? So in Illuvium, you need it in SILV2. So give me just a second. And let me show you. Okay, so we're here. And you want to swap from ETH to here. So you're going to paste in that contract address. Now, what SILV2 is that if you have Illuvium staked, you can earn a reward in Illuvium. But if you're going to wait for that actual Illuvium token reward, you have to wait a year from when it's earned to when it vests. Or you can harvest it right away as SILV2. So a lot of whales that have it staked are harvesting their rewards early so that they can capture the value now in SILV2. Now, what's cool is this goes for the price of, let's look up Illuvium's token, LV. So even though you might be not paying $267 per token for the SILV2, you're getting that value. So if we were to go SILV2 to say, let's do this. We want to go say USDT, and you put in about 170. It was going for about 175 earlier. So it's going for about $175 each, but you're getting $267 in credit for it. Does that make sense? So Illuvium is taking it at the value of $267, but you're only paying $175 for it. So I didn't calculate out what the discount is, but it's about a 35 to 40%.
35%, yeah, 33%, right?
Yeah, higher than 33% because it's $100 off of 360. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is about a 35% discount. Somebody with a calculator can
still
do that.
Still better than nothing.
Chris Ashby says, like button has been Mario partied.
Oh, yeah.
For that.
Yeah, about 35.5 or 34.5% off.
So the best thing to do is swap to ETH, or not swap to ETH. You send ETH into your MetaMask, you swap it. Now, when you first connect to this, you have to go through a bunch of steps and authorize it to connect to Immutable X, but you're still going to pay for it. When you click on Buy Now button, it's going to pop up a transaction on your MetaMask that you then have to approve and everything. So what's happening is you're paying on the ETH layer 1, but they're giving it to you, I think, on the Immutable X blockchain, which is really cool. So that's how to buy it, not for this price, which, you know, it sold out before it hit this price. All of them did. So it doesn't actually get to this price, but we can see that person bought a tier 2. Was it a tier 2 or tier 3? Let's look at what some of the tier 2s have sold for. Let's go back to land sales. We want to filter. We want to look at sold, and we want to look at sold to. So this sold. These are selling for about 0.97. So that was a tier 3 that the person was buying, I think. We'll see here. Copy. And unfortunately, it just gives us their wallet address. We don't know what the transaction details are. We don't know when it's sold. Some people have bought a lot of things, and some people have only bought 1 or 2. So if they've just bought 1 or 2, it's a lot easier. So we need to go back to Etherscan. We need to then search their wallet address, and we're going to see, yeah, this person has been buying heavily. Look, 8 minutes ago, it looks like they unstaked something. But here's some transactions from them buying. So 13 minutes ago, let's check out that transaction. Yeah, they did 7.42 SILV2. So that is a tier 2 that they were buying. The tier 3s go for a much higher amount. They're in the, I think, about 20 SILV. And I haven't looked at the actual numbers for a tier 4. All right, so now what do the different tiers mean? Well, let's talk about that. So you have these different regions. Here's the different tiers. So you can get some free land, and It's not connected by the free land for playing. It's not connected to revenue share, whereas these ones can get revenue share. It says that this land would be similar to a tier 2 land, meaning that would have higher outputs, but without the unique landmark. So you can put some things on here. On tier 1s, though, you have fuel sites that sit there and earn you fuel, but you only have one fuel site. These ones have 3 fuel sites. So let's look at some examples of that. So we're looking at tier 2s. Let's look at the detail on this. So this ended up, and you don't know until you mint it what fuel sites you're going to get. So this one had 2 Krypton rifts. This one had 1 Solon trench. Usually there's no history on here yet unless it's already sold. You can find it and you can go to trade and you can buy it from that. I believe there's another marketplace that's already trading these as well. I'm not selling any of mine yet. I'm just watching this, and I'm buying a bunch, and I'll probably take some profits and sell when the prices pump really well. Now, whether that's a week from now or whether that's like a year from now, my guess is they'll actually, once this is sold out, I think the prices will probably go up, and possibly by a lot, because a lot of people will have missed out. They waited too long. And my guess is we'll talk about timing in a minute, because timing is critical on how to get the best deal. And I'll talk about when I think the best timing is overall. So there's different, these are tier 2. I think the very best value as far as if you're going to play the game is probably in these tier 3s, but these end up going for, let's look at the ETH price, and then we'll just say a 40% discount from there. So let's go back here and let's look at what the tier 3s are selling for. So we want to filter by just tier 3, and we want to make sure we're sorting by lowest price. So the lowest it's gone for is about 0.3762, and with ETH that's about 7,500. Apply a 35% discount and you're running about, is that about 5,200, 5,400?
Yeah, it's about 48.75. But yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I say it's the best value is because there's, the way it works is each tier up is about a little over 3x better. Notice tier 1 only has 1 fuel site. And these fuel sites are what you need. This different types of fuel are needed for things in the game, whether it's travel, whether it's creating the little things to capture illuvials. You need fuel in order to create those. So a tier 2 has 3 fuel sites, not just 1. It only has double the number of element sites, but it has 3 times many fuel sites. Plus it gets a production boost of 33.33%. And I think you have higher chance of getting more of the skins. A tier 3 only has double the amount of fuel sites of a tier 2. So, but look, it has 100% production boost, and that's big. And it also has a landmark, 1 element landmark. So it gives you this element that gives you an additional boost. And I'll show you what those look like. And the starting ETH price is that, but they're selling, as we just checked out, for about 3.7 ETH. So they end up selling about the 6 to 12 minute mark. So an hour and 6 minutes to an hour and 12 minutes is when they fly off the shelves and they're gone. Now, had you participated about 12 hours ago, that possibly was the bottom. And we'll talk more about how I think the pricing is going to play out, on whether now is a better time or waiting another day is a better time. And I'll give you my opinion on that. Tier 5s, well, these are unreachable. I think there's 2 that are going to be auctioned off in English. There's a production boost of 900%, 12 amazing fuel sites. Tier 4s have 9 fuel sites, a 300% production boost, which is really nice, a fuel landmark. So these have a fuel landmark, which is better. Like you could get a boost on, say, one of the fuel types. So we looked at this. This has a Krypton Rift. If you're lucky on a tier 4, you would get something that increases the production of Krypton, which is very beneficial. On the tier 3s, it has an element boost. So if we look at tier 3s, this increases hydrogen production. And I don't know which of these produces hydrogen. Maybe it's the lake. that's producing hydrogen, but it gives you a hydrogen production boost, plus it reduces losses when converting something else to hydrogen. So between these are kind of equal. The only reason why I'm picking up a few tier 3s to hold long term, and I've already bought one, just because the production boost, like I'm bummed that it only has double the amount of fuel sites and only 3 more element sites, but does have this 100% production. And I just want to have a couple of these element landmarks. Now, it's not that I would like to have a tier 4, but the prices those are going for are just, it's not that it's not doable. I would just have to sell some stuff at too much of a loss that I'm just not willing to go that route. I don't like to sell my positions when they're down. I like to sell them when they're up. And I'm just not going to cash out things that are down in order to get them. So these are going for about 14 ETH. You apply a 35% discount. They're selling for about roughly 10 to 11 worth of ETH if you're buying in SILV2. And we can look at it. So this one got a fallen star, increases Solon production, reduces loss when converting to Solon. And it does have 4 Solon trenches. So that's a really nice landmark for the production that's right on here. There's speculation that Krypton is going to be the most valuable that's used for travel, and possible that it's very limited to only being able to get that you can't exchange into it. You can only get it from having something that produces Krypton, but that's still speculation. The game keeps changing and evolving. That's just where it's at right now. So this one increases, this has a dimensional anchor, which increases Krypton production, reduces losses when converting to Krypton. It's nice. It has 2 Krypton rifts, has a ton of Solon trenches, etc. So this land will interact with the game that's coming out on phone. And so the actual production won't be live, even though the game goes live in probably only 3 or 4 weeks as they work out some bugs. The production, actual production that you can then sell, will only go live when the main game goes live too. And the phone version will be like a companion to the main game as far as harvesting your resources that you're earning on your land.
Hey, Jay, Delta Plane asks, so he says, so $4,500 for a tier 3, is it worth it to buy that? I mean, obviously you're not giving financial advice, but
I did. So I bought one. I'm going to buy a second one. It depends on where you are and things like, I believe in a diversified portfolio, right? Because you never know what's going to fail. Illuvium, as strong as it looks, it could always fail. So if 4,500 is a large percentage of your portfolio, it's probably a lot of risk to take. It depends on what level you're going to do. It's possible that the very best flips come from the tier 1s, right? So the tier 1s are going for, what were we looking at? Let's just pull it up, filter by it. So, and let's not look even at the cheapest price, because it's possible that the timing for the very cheapest price is gone. So when I talk about timing, I'll tell you why that might be the case. And that right now might be as cheap as it gets. It could go to a lower point than right now in about 12 hours from now. And maybe that will be the second cheapest price. And I'll tell you why when we get to there. So these sold for 0.32, but let's just imagine you don't get it the very cheapest price and you pay higher. Let's go to about this. So still not a bad price. When ETH was about, whoa. Let's go to about page 50. That's going to give us good expectations. So they went for about 0.376 ETH. And so you're getting a discount on that. So imagine you're paying about 0.28 ETH, which would be about what, $5,600 or $560. So the tier 1s often in most games perform the best, or the lowest entry level ones do the best as far as ROI. So what I've been picking up for flipping is tier 1s. I bought some tier 3s for, I'm probably going to play this game, and I love gaming, but I'm really picky on the games that I will actually play and put time into. I have a feeling Illuvium is going to be one of those that I like and will actually play. And so I bought some tier 3s just so I don't have to spend as much time harvesting. For me, time is money, and I'm not going to have like 20 tier 1s that I'm going to be harvesting the resources for. So I'm buying some tier 3s that I can harvest the resources for. And I bought some mostly tier 1s, but a few tier 2s that would be possible flips. Now, maybe I'll keep some tier 2s as I play the game too, just on depending on how it all turns out as far as what resources I'm getting. So tier 1s often will perform the best for flips, the entry level ones. With Axie Infinity, the Savannah lands were the entry level ones, and those sold out day 1. I started buying day 2, so all the Savannah lands were sold out, and those did the very best as far as ROI. Second to that, I think the next cheapest performed the best, but clearly Savannah lands had the highest ROI, and they sold out immediately. They were like, ETH was about $100 average through the land sale, and they were 0.05 ETH. So think of Savannah lands for being $5 a piece, and they went up to about $13,000. Whereas the Mystic land was selling for $100 worth of ETH, or 1 ETH, and they went up to at the peak between 80 to 120,000 for a Mystic land. So honestly, the entry level ones outperformed vastly the higher tiers. But tier 3, I'm buying a couple for actual playing because I'm calculating in the ROI the value of my time. But for flipping, I'm just getting tier 1s and just a couple tier 2s for possible flipping. Which regions to buy in? That's another major question, and I'll give you my thoughts. This is a hard one because there's the starting alluvials that you get with it. But in a lot of games, what I see tends to be popular is ice, fire, and water. So I think this is your ice region, essentially, Taiga Boreal. Crimson Waste for sure is your fire region, right? And I think it's going to do well because the Scoriox, I think that's the bird with the flames that looks really cool that we see from the game. Though I haven't played the beta yet myself. I don't love beta testing myself. I like playing the game when it's worked out. I'll probably play the beta to get a feel for how it'll work. But I hate putting tons of time into something that like you don't get to keep what you're earning, right? So that's why I often don't play betas. It's a big time sink, and I love it when I get to keep what I'm earning. But when I don't get to keep what I'm earning, I just have a hard time putting the time into it. And Halcyon Sea is, I think, going to be the main water area. But that's just speculation, right? I don't know for sure. These are the ones that I bought a tier 1 of, or a tier 3 of this. I'm looking for a tier 3 of Crimson Waste. I got beat out. I tried to get one about an hour, 2 hours, 15 minutes ago for tier 3 on this. And, you know, I was just a few seconds too late on it. And I'm looking for possibly a tier 3 on this as well. And that's not to say that they'll do the best. I don't know what will do the best over time. I'm factoring in, okay, what will do best initially, and probably this will do well initially because of the Scoriox. This definitely tends to sell well now. Halcyon Sea. Some other ones that tend to sell well, I don't remember, but it's pretty easy to research what is selling well. And so I recommend you come in here. You look at what's sold, and you look at what's sold for the very, very cheapest. So go to page 1, and this will give you an idea for what's selling well, right? So Brightland Steps is clearly selling less well than other things, and Abyssal Basin less well, but Brightland Steps is telling you, okay, that. So a couple of Halcyon Sea, couple of them sold very, very late for this cheaper amount, but clearly Brightland Steps is selling least well. A couple Crimson Waste went for cheap here, and Abyssal Basin and Shard Bluff, but mostly Brightland Steps, right? So this gives you an idea. So some more Halcyon Sea, and then Brightland Steps, Shard Bluff, Abyssal Basin. We see a few of those scattered into here. Crimson Waste. You can tell Crimson Waste is selling much better than everything else because this is the first cheap Crimson Waste that we've sold. And it's hard to tell exactly what times these sold for. You'd really have to go deeper into the research to see not only the wallet address this sold to, but you would have to figure out what time they bought it at. And it's hard when they have multiple transactions happening every hour, figure out which one, but you could track down and figure out roughly how you would, it would take about an hour or two of research to figure out exactly when this sale happened. But a lot of these sales, which leads us to timing, a lot of these sales happened about 12 hours ago. That was the bottom of when a lot of these pricing happened. Now, why do I think that that was the bottom? So let's talk about the timing of this. So this is a really interesting sale that every hour new ones are released for sale, and they start at that top tier price. They call it a Dutch auction, where it starts at a really high price and then it tiers down from there. Let's see, let's go back to on sale and we'll see the stuff that released just 36 minutes ago. It's already, I need to get it off of, I just need on sale. So the stuff that came up, it started at 2 ETH for these tier ones, and it's already down to 0.8 ETH. In some people who have checked out the location and say they own this one right here, which actually comes up for sale in 38 minutes. So somebody that wants to get a couple of these together, and I'm not sure what the number is, but they can build a little, there's some advantage if they get a bunch that are right next to each other. So say they're like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. And they're like, this one's going in 12 hours. So I'm going to watch for that. And I'm going to buy it early to make sure I get it. And say they buy this one, or they're like, okay, this is selling right now. And they're going to buy with, say, SILV2. Tells me my balance is not enough. Yes, it's not enough in this account. Then they're like, okay, this launches in 38 minutes. I'm going to buy that one. Then I'm going to try to pick up this one. I'm going to try to pick up this one. And they're trying to piece together a bunch that are together. I don't know about you, but I'm not worrying about that myself. These ones that are off on their own tend to sell a little bit slower, because in this 20% that's going up for sale now, no other ones are being released around it. So people that are trying to piece together bigger ones that are together, they're trying to go for these ones that are in bunches. I'm not personally doing that. There are some people that are definitely doing that. And that's why you see some of these selling out at these higher prices, because they don't want to have to let it go to someone else and then have to pay a higher price from them, maybe a huge premium, to end up buying it later. So they're just minimizing their risk by buying it now before the prices go down a lot. And you can see some of these areas is a lot better for trying to piece together multiple lots that are touching. So now the other reason on timing, I think the price is going to go up, was there's some funds that are sitting on the sidelines. And if you're really interested in this land sale, Scoriox, he's a newer YouTuber that's covering play to earn gaming, and his background is math, and he's a lot of fun to watch. He's done some spreadsheets as far as return on investment for Illuvium, as far as staking the token, earning it. He's been doing 24-hour live streams on this, and it's really good information, but clearly the information is really kind of spread out over a longer time. But he knows this really well, and he's had some really good guests on. So if you're interested in diving deeper on this and you haven't found him, find him. That's Scoriox on, just go to YouTube, search Illuvium, you'll find him. He's great. And he's covering this at even more depth if you're interested in more for this. Now, let me just see, as far as regions I like. So I told you I like the fire, water, and ice. Timing. Now, why? Let's talk about the pricing. Like right now, there's a lot of action happening, and there's some big funds that are waiting to deploy their capital. They want to give it some time to see. They wanted the initial hype to die down and see how low prices go so that they could set proper expectations. And since about 6 hours ago, things have been selling out faster, and there's been more of a gas war. Now, if you think about it, since about 6 hours ago, the UK was awake and the US is awake, which is probably the two most influential markets. When I say US, I'm including Canada in there because it's the same time zones, but US, Canada, and the UK. There is a chance that later this evening, when both of those have gone to bed in about 12 hours from now, might return to some cheaper prices, though possibly not as cheap as the first day. Now, Hex did an initial sale that had some similarities to this. It lasted over a period of like, I don't remember, like 180 days or something. And what I found is that it went the very cheapest, about up to a third the way in. Its very, very cheapest happened even before a third the way in. And then it started to get more expensive. And towards the end, it got really expensive as a lot of people were FOMOing in. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens kind of like that with this, that the very cheapest price was possibly 12 hours ago, though it might hit cheap again as some of those people go to bed. And it depends on if some whales stand up. There's some whales that are deploying millions of dollars worth of capital into this. And so they might not be going to bed, but they also might be focusing their efforts on tier 3s and tier 4s. So for ROI, I think tier 1 is probably your best bet, though there's no guarantees. And then possibly tier 2s if you're going to play the game. Tier 2s and tier 3s get more interesting if you're going to play the game yourself. All right, let me check out what's going on in chat. D, any comments?
Nothing really. I think that there's a lot of information here. So I think it's just kind of like, whoa, okay, let's take a look. Let's see.
Let's jump over to Cornucopias and okay, seeing a little bit. Buying ILV land on their marketplace is the same, right? So we're in the Illuvidex right now, and share my screen. You can buy it through trade and filter by buy now. That's going to give you people that are reselling it. So let's look at just tier 1. And so some people, but this is all just selling in ETH. So per the ETH price, this is even cheaper, but now you're buying in ETH. You're not able to buy an SILV2, but you can know exactly what you're getting with this. So this isn't a bad price. And so sort by price lowest. So maybe there's, now what's interesting is this is actually more expensive than ETH. Let's see if it'll let us sort by ETH. Look, we can buy it in OMI token. Check that out. Probably nobody's listing in OMI tokens, but let's see if, nope, nobody's listing in OMI tokens, but let's check by ETH price. So that's not a bad deal. Shard Bluff Labyrinth, Crimson Waste, but you're not getting that extra discount, right? So these probably sold at 0.35 ETH, but they probably paid an SILV2. So they paid less than this, and maybe they weren't happy. Maybe, oh, this one has a Krypton Rift. That's not a bad one right there. And it's in an area I like too. When I went back on that, it might have changed our filter. So that was not a bad one. Crimson Waste, that one right there. I like it. All right. Let's jump over to the other land sale that I think is really, really hot and heavy, and that's Cornucopias. Let me bring over my other screen. Here we go. Cornucopia is one of the first AAA level games built on Cardano. If you follow this channel, you know I've covered it a bunch, and we've had them on for AMA interviews. Their token price has done remarkably well versus the rest of the altcoin market. It's still up from their IDO price, and their NFTs have done fantastic things in value increases from the mint so far, even while the rest of the market has been way down. The number one place to keep up on Cornucopias is their Discord, and let me show you how to get to there. So Cornucopias, easiest way to get there is find them on CoinGecko. This makes sure you never get scammed going to a duplicate site that's not theirs and somehow connecting your wallet and then losing everything. So I always go to CoinGecko. I look them up. So you can put in Copy token, which is the name of their token. We'll do that. Copy. Cornucopias, there we go. So that gets us to this page. And then I just click on their website here, and that takes me to their website. So to get to the correct Discord, just come here and click on the right Discord. But I don't have my Discord set up on this computer, so it's not going to open correctly for me. But that's how you get to their Discord. Now, those who, when we first covered them, joined the Discord, when I first talked about it and I hinted, join the Discord, you actually got in an OG status. And we'll talk about what a difference that makes later. Now, they're in the process of their smaller land plot sales right now. And let's see, like this is their land sale small plots. I've already bought one, so it won't let me buy one. And let's see if I refresh this, how many are remaining, because it's still going through it right now, and there's different tiers. So there's 1,400 remaining. There are different rounds. There's a tier 1 round, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4, and we'll talk about what those are. So tier 1 just means how early are you able to participate. Let me find this. All right. Tier 1 was able to participate at 2 p.m. UTC time, and then there was a 30-minute break. And the price, no matter what tier you're in, is 174. But at this higher tier, you get a better chance because you're competing against less people. And then there was a 30-minute break. Then they did their tier 2 round starting at 3 p.m. UTC time, and then a 90-minute break, tier 3, and then tier 4. So tier 4, I think, is anyone who's joined their Discord. Let's see if Cornucopias got back to me on what. Yeah, so their tier 3 is anybody who's been in their Discord for over 30 days. So if you're just joining their Discord now, then you'll be in tier 4. If you joined over 30 days ago, or if you join it now, because they're continuing to do NFT mints, then you'll automatically get to tier 3 in 30 days. So if you haven't joined their Discord already, join their Discord, start that timer ticking. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything to join their Discord. So to join their Discord, just go to their site and then their main site, and then click on their Discord and join their Discord. If you don't already have a Discord set up, get one. Especially if you're investing in play to earn gaming, the best information comes through Discord. So what is this tier 1 and tier 2? Now, tier 1 is OGs, original gangsters. So if you had joined their Discord right away, like back when we first covered them and said, wink, wink, join their Discord, I didn't know. They said there was going to be some special things for those who joined the Discord right away. They didn't tell me what it was. They created this OG category and migrated everyone to OG status that was already in it as of that certain date. Here's the cool thing. You still can earn OG by participating heavily in their Discord and earning some points through just participation. And you can eventually get moved up to the OG so that you can try to get it in the first round. There's still not, there's more OGs than there are ones being deployed. But I was actually a little bit slow on mine, was able to get in the tier 1, still get a mint in the tier 1. So that then I'm done. I don't have to worry about competing in the tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4 till later. So there is a way, though, that you can get to a tier 2 fairly quickly. And in order to get to tier 2, those are owners of the OG Bubble Jet, Javelin, or the regular Bubble Jet. And what you need to do is buy that on the secondary market. And that is, so you go to jpeg.store. You want to put in Cornucopias. And so let's say, I think this one, the Javelin might be the cheapest. So if you were to get in there, the floor is $239. Let's see what the Bubble Jet Sprinter is, $259. Or you can buy the OG, any one of these three, but the floor on that is $1650 for a common right now. So lower entry price on these other ones. Looks like the Javelin is your cheapest entry price at $239. Then you have to go to the Discord and go to the miner announcements, I think, in their Discord, and they'll tell you how to verify that you have it. So what they do is they have several steps you have to, and it takes about an hour. So if you're trying to participate later today, you have to get moving on that right away. So join the Discord. Get moving on that right away. Buy a Javelin. That's what the floor is. And you can actually get up to the tier 2 right away. To get to that tier 1, you have to earn OG status. That's going to take you a while. Participating heavily in their Discord. And I don't know exactly what the metrics are, just that you can get promoted up to OG level by being a great community member and frequently communicating in Discord and helping other people out. All right, as far as what to get there, today they're doing small. So this is the resale market. So here's the cool thing. So if you bought it today, what were the prices on these? So 174 ADA, and they're flipping right away for 300 ADA. For, like, you probably going to pay some transaction fees. Let's say the average transaction fees you're going to pay 2 ADA. So your profit there is pretty good profit right away, right? More than a 50% profit right away if you're just flipping it, right? And that's the cheapest one here. I'm going to refresh and see where, okay, so that was the earlier days. It's gone down and taken out. It's still at about 20% profit, but the starting price is down to 199 ADA. There's one, and then 202, 203. What has been nice about every one of their sales is that they're selling for a lower price than they're going for on the resale market. For those that are interested in just getting some money off of flips, great. Am I flipping my stuff? I'm not personally, because I'm willing to take the risk for the longer term vision. For those that are just trying to increase the amount of ADA or crypto that they hold, I don't fault you for flipping. Not bad. I mean, one of my friends got a rare custom OG bubble jet and he flipped it for 5,000 ADA. He was in the OG group because he joined the Cornucopia server when I covered it. So he got in the OG group. Essentially, it was a free mint minus transaction cost, and he flipped it for 5,000 ADA. And do I blame him? No. If I got a really high rarity, I would probably flip it too. And then I would just buy a regular rarity one. Now, I think the rarity, the advantage it gives you is you're able to pick exactly where that piece of land is in an earlier round once we get to picking where the actual land is going to be located. So right now, you're just getting an NFT placeholder as to where the actual land will be. You'll pick it. And common, which is what I got, means I'll be picking in a much later round, which I'm fine with. Yeah, it would be nice, but why would I sell a higher tier if I got it? Because somebody is going to want to pick really, really early that's willing to pay a huge premium on that. And for me, that's fine. Let's look at rarity. Let's see what legendaries are go for. I know one of our audience members got a legendary, so it's going for 649. That's awesome. If you end up being really lucky and you got a red rarity of mythic, woo, Nelly. 2,500 ADA. Not bad, right? So even the commons, if you only got a common, which I did, are flipping for a higher price. But if you happen to get lucky and get a better rarity, and that's why this mint totally makes sense. I like the team behind this. I like what they're doing. And for those that are interested in a land sale where, look, if you're interested in just flipping, that's fine. I'm holding these for a longer term because I think this game is going to be cool and fun. And I think the value in the future is probably a lot higher than it is now. At least that's a bet I'm making for myself. What you have to do is weigh the risks and returns yourself to see it's good. Now, here's the different sizes of land. They do have the dimensions now in the Copia's land plots. They didn't, I think, when they had this, but essentially this gives you an idea. This is a small size. This is a medium size. This is the large plot. As far as what is the value of this land in the game, let me read this to you so you can hear it. Districts are the main community-driven hubs of Cornucopia's Cardano metaverse, where players will be able to establish a residence and socialize with other Cornucopians. District land plots, which is what they're selling, are where all the early action will be. You'll be able to trade your wares, quest for new materials, and craft unique equipment, NFTs to use while adventuring. Furthermore, players who own a plot in district land will be granted district community membership, which will enable enhanced play-to-earn opportunities within the budding district economies. For instance, district land plot owners can demonstrate their dedication to the community by completing certain tasks and building residential properties, which other players can then rent. District landowners will provide a valuable service to the community by building digital real estate within Cornucopia's Cardano metaverse. Players who do not own district land will be limited to how much they can play to earn. However, players who rent a room in a district property owned by another player will receive official district community membership and thus enable all the play to earn opportunities within the district economy. So in other words, you'll be able to rent it out and like build a house and then rent it out. And other people who want higher play to earn earnings will then want to rent it. Value proposition makes sense. How well will this roll out? Hopefully really well, but we don't know. It's early enough. It's just a guess, right? When I bought Axie Infinity, actually, gosh, I bought it in like January 2019, their land, and still as of today, they don't have their gameplay active. It's been, 3.5 years? And so hopefully Illuvium and Cornucopias don't take that long. And even though the gameplay wasn't fully rolled out, that didn't stop those mythic lands from hitting over $100,000. But a lot of that
Hey,
speculation in that the game was getting a lot of play, right? So
hey, Jay, this seems like a good time to. The Red Julius says, when is the game releasing? Do we know on either Illuvium or Cornucopias?
So Illuvium's going to have a very simplified version of gameplay on a phone app, like within the next couple of weeks. The bigger game is going to roll out. It's going to be in possibly a further beta stage, like a year from now. But it has a beta out there. The beta is just a like survival battler, where you can practice surviving for as many rounds as possible. So there's something that's playable, which is cool because Illuvium is way ahead of a lot of the games on that they have an actual playable something where you can see the level of details on their characters and you can verify it is a AAA level game. Cornucopia is just migrated to Unreal Engine 5, so their graphics are, the complexity is much, much higher, which is cool. And they're really excited about that because Unreal Engine 5 is a really good system from what everyone's saying. And I can't remember on their roadmap if it's like, I would plan on it being a year to and a half away of something playable that might just be a portion of the ecosystem, if it's even that early. Video game, to develop a good video game often takes about 5 years. Now, because Unreal Engine 5 and other tools are getting better, it's shortening the life cycle development for video games. But still, very good video games often take at least 5 years to really build out. Now, they're really focused on giving you something that's playable earlier, like Illuvium, which I think did their initial fundraise like a little over a year ago for their token, but they were probably in development for some time before then. Cornucopias really started development about 6 months ago. So Illuvium has a head start there. And Illuvium already having like a survival battler at least gives people something that they can see and feel and play and get a feel for the world and get you excited. That's why a lot of people, including myself, are really bullish on Illuvium because what they released already is really cool. All right.
Good info from
says, waiting for the rain, as are we all. I was talking about it in the private Discord earlier that our Patreon members get access to, that my guess is 4 to 6 months from now is really, really good. A lot of people are bearish right now, especially bearish a month ago. Remember how bearish everyone was a month ago? And now it's kind of like there's some hope coming back in the market. Watch, see if I'm right on this. Some massive FUD come in and dash the hopes out of half of those that are starting to turn bullish right now to get them really, really bearish before then it goes quite crazy. So that's how it often plays out. That like when everybody's finally dispirited and people are down and they've been kicked in the head about 20 times while they're down, then all of a sudden life is good and it's going really amazing. So we'll see how it actually plays out. That's my best guess. Unfortunately, I don't have a magic crystal ball that I could see exactly how it plays out. So I have to just factor in as many variables as I can see and guess, realizing that there are tons of variables out there that I can't see. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what investment is. All right. Great question by Timothy Franklin. That wraps up. What questions in audience having questions about either of these two? Did I show the pricing difference? So it's just day one. Let's look at the pricing difference. So they started with the small plots, tomorrow the medium plots, then the large plots. So you can get up into this tier 2, take you about an hour, and still they haven't done the tier 4 sale. You can get in the tier 4 by joining the Discord right away. Takes about an hour to verify to get bumped up to tier 2. So you missed tier 2 sale for today. So you still have a chance at this tier 4 for the small plots. And then it goes up for the medium plots to 359 ADA. You want to have extra in there for transaction speed. And sometimes the wallet puts a hold on some of your ADA. So like overfund your account for what you need. And you can get up to tier 2 pretty quickly. And then if you're interested in just flipping, just as soon as you get it, put it on the market, because the price does start coming down usually before over time. I think what they're selling for now, that a lot of these people that are selling theirs now and flipping it will regret it. But for some people, money now is a lot more important than money later. And if they only got into this to flip it, I mean, why not at least try and then flip it if you're not interested in holding it for the long term? If you're interested in holding in the long term, I don't know that the prices will ever drop below these. It could. What's happening on Solana? Maybe Cardano has a huge epic failure again, like Solana's like second or third major failure. And then the Cardano ecosystem gets more bearish. But this is part of the reason why Charles Hoskinson took longer on the Cardano blockchain, so they don't run into as many epic failures.
Hey, good info from our buddy Mark Esquivel. He says it's like 15 to 20 ADA to list and with the transaction fee.
Okay,
I haven't verified that, but I assume he's a rainmaker. I'm guessing he's probably right.
Yeah, I haven't listed any of mine, but so then if you factor these people that are selling their, basically they were probably participating, hoping to get a common, or not a common, something above a common. When they didn't get it, essentially they're selling, if they're paying that high of a transaction fee, for what they had into it, which at that point, I'm just happy to hold it, right? I got a common. I didn't flip it, but no way would I sell it at this price. So I'll just hold and wait, because most of the gaming market is down and there's not fresh money coming into the gaming market other than through some VCs. There's definitely money coming in from VCs, but a lot of the money that's in the market is just changing hands. Things that aren't doing well, then some people are selling those to buy what they feel is hot, hoping to make a flip profit. This isn't a time that I'm selling stuff. This is a time that I accumulate. When I like to sell stuff is when a lot of fresh money is coming into the market and almost everything is going up, or at least some of my holdings are going massively up, and that's when I sell. So that's what I'm holding mine for. I can't tell any of you what to do. You got to make your own decisions on that, because we're all big boys and big girls here. Also, let's give the Wanchain. Can you just give me the wand giveaway for pinching the like button? I'm pinching it. Okay. Abe, we love you. Abe is a member of our Patreon, and I get to interact with him on our weekly pre-live stream. So, Abe, we love you. So today's Wanchain giveaway, the first person to give us the co-founders' names for Cornucopia, the two co-founders. And I guess their first names are fine. So the first person that gives us the co-founders' names for Cornucopias will be our winner. And we had them on just the other day.
Come on, Abe. You got this. You got this, bro. It is not. Those are not their names. It is not Art and Happy Hardy.
I don't know. I'll have to ask him and say, do you go by these? By these? All right. Yeah, these land sales are awesome. So this has been a good time in a otherwise like boring market. When it's boring, like I was sharing the other day, James. Nope,
not James and Andrew. Good guess though. Those are two names. By the way, just per usual, we need, as soon as you are the winner, we're going to need your Telegram handle so that I can reach out, and then we'll get your wallet address and get it sent over to you.
Well, so there's 4 co-founders. Specifically, I want the 2 co-founders that were on with us the other day. So, and that was still wrong, but Robert and Josh, we have it by Chris Ashby. Chris, awesome. Congratulations. Our Wanchain giveaway winner. Yes, that is it. So Robert Gregg and Josh Jones joined us the other day, and we've really enjoyed interacting with them. The other ones are Jeff and Ant. So I'd like to guess James and Andrew, though. That's fun. Cool. Yeah, so we've got it here. So it was as simple as going to their website, go to About. I mean, sometimes there's like really clear the team, but if you go to About and then go down to founding team, Robert Gregg, Josh Jones, who joined us the other day, and Jeff and Ant are also co-founders. Cool. Congratulations. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you're not already a Rainmaker, join the Navy SEALs, or what I call the Navy SEALs of crypto, to level up your crypto game. You might say, I don't know, this channel doesn't have 1 million subscribers yet. And that is totally true. We could have way more subscribers if we always talked about coins that were super hot and had already pumped a ton. And we consciously don't do that. As an investor first, I like to talk about things when I feel like they're undervalued in a good deal, not when they're overvalued and possibly all of my audience is going to lose tons of money on them. Doesn't that make sense to you? And often that's often like not what people are searching for, right? They're often searching for what's hot, and because they're looking to buy that, and that's okay. So if the YouTube doesn't grow as fast because of that, I'm totally cool with that, because the thing that would hurt me the most is if my audience was always FOMOing in at the top. That would just hurt me fundamentally, because I'm an investor. I like to look for informed decisions and make them, and share with you what I look at and how I make my decisions. That doesn't mean I have a track record of perfection, and nobody does. It means that on average, I win more than I lose by a lot. And some of that is timing. I mean, sometimes my portfolio is down just like everyone else's is right now. Why? Because it's a major pullback. And when I sell is when the rains come. That's what I refer to it as, the rains come. And it rises all boats. And that's when I'm taking massive profits, completely setting it on the sidelines. There are endless channels that will give people what they're looking for, which is whatever is hot that's in there. And that's okay. Those are good to tune into, to listen to what they're saying and see if they have any information, but that's not typically when I'm buying. Just 3 months ago, remember, Luna was super hot and it was $100 per Luna. Was that a good time to buy? It was on all the YouTube channels. That's not when I'm buying, right? I did buy Luna at $6 and I'm down on that position by a lot, but a lot more fun to be. I did take some profits out, so I didn't lose all of that, but it's a lot more fun to buy low and sell high over time than it is to buy high, which is fun at first. It's like, yay, this is exciting. It's gone up 20x and I'm buying it now because it's just going to keep going up. And there's a lot of people who do that, but they soon learn that that is not how it plays out. And though it's not very much fun at first to buy when it's boring, it leads to a really fun time that when prices go crazy, you already have your positions made, and that's exceptionally fun. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you all soon. Remember, no rain, no gain.
Came into this space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, right before you could, was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss, cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I'll sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling a parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the games. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, say the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.